one of her testicles pops out of her costume. And I know, it's very embarrassing when that happens.
Terrible.
And then you jump to Bill and Tony in the commentary box, and then Rick Desnick slamming into the vaulting horse. So I had to listen to it in the car to try and get the running order right, and I actually found myself chuckling a couple of times. Now, that's not a bad sign, Rich.
I think it's a great sign, and I tell you what, the guys on those records, the characters, they're going to have to live with the fact that when they are no longer broadcasters, they are going to be remembered for what's on that album, not for what they actually...
Well, Greggy really got that. He said, "You made me a bloody star, you know. People are yelling out car windows at me." And he knew that my success was having a very positive impact on... I put an extra 0 on his after dinner speaking fee. And he couldn't work out, that was his only complaint, "I just can't work out. We gave the boss at the start. I can't work out how we don't get any royalties out of him."
Because you were undercutting them.
Exactly.
What was it like being in the 9 box? You've been lampooning these guys for 30 years, and now you're in their home.
I know. I look so excited. After 30 years, a lot of people couldn't believe that I hadn't been anywhere near the 9 commentary box. So I said to the record company, "I'll see if you can get me on the cricket show," because that's a pretty loose as a goose show these days with Slats hosting it. And
that's the lunchtime show.
It's a lunchtime show, exactly. So they rang back and said, "Oh, Mark Nicholas wants to have a chat to you out in the centre at the Gabba."
Mark.
"Yes, Mark, you're smashing, baby." Anyway, I said, "I am in, darling." And so what happened was we went up there, and it rained. I mean, it didn't just rain, it was Armageddon. There was bloody hail, and I'm here, so hail. I got that gag away. Just as I was in the middle of the interview, I turn around and it's hailing. I've gone, "I'm here, so hail. Hail, Richie. Hail, the great man." "No, Bill, that's his name, you dickhead." So, no, it was great because I ended up getting a much longer interview than I was supposed to. Instead of being out in the centre for a quick 5-minute chat, I ended up, I had one break when I was in a Mark sandwich. I had Mark Taylor and Mark Nicholas on either side of me. And then they went to an ad break and came back, and Warnie joined us, and he and I did a couple of impersonations together. He does a pretty good Tony Gregg and Richie Benno, actually.
You're such a great impersonator. Have you got another target that you've been eyeing off from afar that you can talk about? You haven't got one at the moment?
Because I've never studied any voices, Rich, and I don't regard myself as an impersonator. I've been talking to people all week, obviously, about my favourite subject, me. I've been doing all these interviews, and I've been saying to people, genuinely, I don't regard myself as an impersonator. I'm a satirist. And I have to come as close as possible to the voices so that they're not a distraction. You know, if you're listening to my record and you think it's funny, I don't want you going, "Yeah, it's funny, but God, he doesn't sound anything like Richie Benno." So I try hard to get them
so
as
that's
close
the primary
as I can.
thing. It's not to impersonate, it's to do the story, and the voices have to come
they
up.
have to, exactly, but the voices have to be good enough so that they're not a distraction. But I've never studied voices like an impersonator would do.
I never thought there was that much thought went into it.
No.
Clearly there is.
Well, what I'm saying is that if I can't hear something pretty instantaneously in someone's voice, I won't do the voice. Because I've never sat down with headphones and studied them. And Rabs, I tell you what, Rabs is very high up on the list now of the most impersonated person in Australia. I get Rabisms across the street. Seriously, for years it was just marvellous effort that and 2 for 22 or "I got him, yes," or, you know. But now I'm getting, "Oh, grunting tackle." I am. Punters are yelling out at me.
We've got to take a break or something. Can I?
Can we get you to stick around for 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm here.
I want to hook this. Richie Benno.
Yeah.
The question is pretty much aimed at what you just talked about.
Yes.
Could that have happened if Richie had been there? So that's the question. The answer is coming next.
After the break.
Oh, yes. We'll come back. The answer to that question.